guys, so I thought it'd be a cool idea to share a little bit about us. So we came up with 5 questions so you guys can get to know me and my husband a little more. But first, let's take a break and get some donuts. All right, you guys, question number 1. Where were you born and where have you lived?
So I was born in Kirkland, Washington, and I was raised out towards Snohomish area. I actually spent my entire life in Washington State. I've lived all up and down the 405 corridor there, what's known as the west side in the Seattle area, Redmond, Kirkland, Renton, and this is my first time now living out of state in Las Vegas, and it's already feeling like home after being here for 2 months.
And for me, I was born in Orange County, California, but I was adventurous enough to live in 6 different states. So unlike my husband, I actually grew up my youth in the West Coast and then adulthood on the East Coast. So I was able to experience a little bit of both sides of the U.S. So yeah, living in Vegas for me was a pretty quick switch, but I'm loving every minute of it.
All right, so question number 2. What is something interesting most people don't know about you?
Well, I was actually a competitive golfer for almost 10 years, and I really enjoyed that lifestyle, and I even taught a little bit as well.
For me, we grew up racing go-karts and dirt bikes. Now, I'm not as involved in cars and motorsports as much as I'd like to be these days, but I'm still very, very passionate about it.
Question number 3. Where have you traveled to and where do you want to go?
So we didn't start traveling until my mid-20s. We grew up taking family road trips in the station wagon, Clark Griswold style. So I started traveling in my early 20s, and I went to Mexico a bunch of times and Canada. So my ambitions in the next couple of years are to get overseas. Definitely want to go to Korea, Japan. Those are on my 2 short list. How about you?
Well, I've traveled a lot in the U.S. As I mentioned before, I've lived in so many different states. However, my most memorable places I've traveled to would be Cabo with my husband, and then also visiting relatives in Korea. And if you guys are wondering, South Korea. Places I'd really, really love to go is actually Korea with my husband, just so he can get some insight on my culture, where I'm from. And of course, the food is incredible in Korea, so I cannot wait to check that out. And also, I have a bizarre fascination with Paris, London, and even Spain. So those are on my bucket list, and hopefully my husband would like to go with me.
Question number 4. What are some of your favorite foods?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. I would say you'll catch me eating Vietnamese food, Thai food, Mexican food, and when I'm randomly craving just simple American food, I'll have like a hot dog and pizza.
Is coffee a food group?
You're always at Starbucks.
Yeah, so I think I have to agree with you. I think we eat quite a bit of Mexican food when we're cooking at the house. It's a lot of Mexican food. I really do enjoy sushi. I didn't find sushi until I was about 20 years old, and then it's just been a crazy, whirlwind since then. God, you can't go wrong with a good burger too. Good burger with cheese and a cold beer.
Man, I'm hungry. All right, so the next question is, what is it like working with your spouse?
Well, I'd say the pro is going to be the amount of time we get to spend together, and I'd say the con is also the amount of time we get to spend together. No, but seriously, it's been really fun hanging with my wife, being able to flex our creative juices together. And it's really given us an insight into her strengths, my strengths, her weaknesses, my weaknesses. And it's been beautiful watching how those intersect, and working on the YouTube channel and the photography stuff together and the makeup businesses. It really is a blessing, even though we do get at each other's throats a little bit, but I think we're both really focused on the common goal, and we do a pretty good job of balancing that out.
Nice. Well, for me, let's start with the cons. I think it's hard to get personal space sometimes, and especially as a very emotional, passionate individual, I have learned to process my emotions properly. So making sure I know when to be personal and when to keep it professional. The pros would be, working with my spouse. I know he's always going to be honest and direct, and I know that it comes from a caring, loving place. And I mean, it's pretty much the dream team. We get to travel and create some awesome projects together. So yeah, it's been really humbling. And again, like he mentioned, having a similar vision and goal, it's really cool to grow professionally, but even in our marriage, it's really helped blossom us as people as well as business partners.
Yeah, and talking again about how we each have different strengths and weaknesses, one of the biggest things that was hard for her to get used to was being an introvert. I'm totally fine staying at home, editing photos and video all day long, sometimes in dead silence. A lot of times I'm listening to a podcast, but it'll drive her crazy if I work for multiple hours on end there, just doing the same thing and working in a quiet, closed-off office, whereas we both love human interaction. We both love working with people. We love empowering people. She just needs a different dose, and she gets a different fulfillment out of it. So we've learned to work together in that aspect.
Yeah, but it's all about balance. So I feel like me being more of an extrovert, him being more of an introvert, it's really taught us how to, come outside of our shell, but also stay grounded and staying true to who you really are. So I feel like my husband has really kept me humble, and it's definitely a learning curve. And I've learned that we are all learning, no matter how great you are, no matter how many years of experience you have, there's always ways to get better. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed getting to know us a little bit better. Stay tuned for more.
I'm all about texture. I love fluffy, moist, and just fresh, kind of doughy. I'm trying out the Dough Crow, which is a hybrid of a donut and a croissant, and I'm mind blown. Look at that.